Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, and today we're going to talk about the debasement trade, gold and silver, what's going on, and everything else about gold and silver and income investing. If that's what you're looking for, stick around. So my name is Brad, and I've been retired now for over a year. I've been looking for a diversified portfolio, and I share some of my research on the internet. But we're going to talk about gold and silver. First of all, silver is making a new all-time high. Yes, the metal has been rising for the last year, about 75%. Short-term projections are $60 to $85 per ounce. We're looking at about $75 per ounce in 2026. And that is a very interesting number, because people in Circle know my target, or I have said my target more than once inside the Circle community, and it is one of those numbers that's on this page. Can't hide it. Somewhere along the line, somebody else must be following me. If you look back through the history, I made several videos on this, and June 3rd was a video I made about silver. So what has silver done since June 3rd? Well, if you paid attention to that video, you're only up 61%. But who knows where silver is going to go? But there you have it. I kind of called it back then. I've been eyeballing this since last December, and I've been sitting here going, how do we as income investors diversify our portfolio? Why should we just be in stuff like SPY and trying to beat the S&P 500 when you actually literally have an asset that is up, since my very first video, 61%? I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a little bit more of a look at this. The patterns are showing a decades, not last week, not last month, decades cup and handle formation. This normally tends to be a very bullish sign. This is why Brad started doing his analysis way back in the springtime, because this was starting to become on his radar of this cup and handle formation that has happened over decades. This normally doesn't happen very often, and if you've been waiting for decades for this to happen, well, congratulations, we're here. On a shorter term chart, hey, everybody's eyeballing that $75. We think in 6 weeks or so, can we hit the $75 range? Maybe, maybe not. But if we keep on doing what we're doing, we might hit that $75 range. If we look at shorter term charts, let's say the last couple months, well, we see another cup and handle formation. Everybody's talking about a rug pull and banks pulling a rug pull. But guess what? This probably is not a rug pull. This is silver on once in a lifetime run northwards. The last chart here that I want to share with you real quick is monthly candles for silver, and we can see how this has been formatting well into the decades. This whole bottom going up, and we're just now starting to break out, and we're going to see a breakout to the north for silver. But I'm an income investor. How do I get into something with silver and gold to produce income for me? And then I'm going to share a little bit more about my holdings and how I have done in silver and gold. Two probably of the best funds that I've seen out there has been K Silver and K Gold. So let's go ahead and say this right off the bat. K Silver and K Gold try to create what is known as a Delta 1 or a Beta 1 position. Probably everybody now has glazed over eyes and has no clue of what I just said. They try to create a Beta 1 or a Delta 1 position. You can use those terms kind of interchangeable. Brad, we didn't know what you're talking about. Just show us on the chart so we can understand this a little bit better. Let's bring up a couple charts. and we'll show you what this actually truly means. K silver total returns right now beats silver. There you have it. That is what it really means. That is what we're talking about. And if you've been invested in the S&P 500 and trying to make a buck, well, that 1%, congratulations. You're only, 13, 12% behind. Good job on that bet of the S&P 500. Maybe a little diversification into silver and collecting a huge distribution on silver. Well over 20%. You can get 12% on gold. So here you are. You're betting on the S&P 500 and you have assets sitting right in front of you that are just beating the S&P 500. How has K Gold done against gold? And there's a fund from NEOS, IAUI. And how has that done? Well, you can see K Gold is fallen a little bit behind. They're just behind. We can chalk that a little bit up to it's a higher management fee than actual holding gold. But hey, he's done a very good job on total returns trying to match or trying to beat actually gold. And again, we can go back and look at the S&P 500 and say, and you're in the S&P 500. Why? I don't know. And we're going to go into Brad's debasement trade and show you because he sold his SPY. No, he did not. Yes, he did. I sold my SPY. And I went into the debasement trade. And I brought that up and everybody's still wondering, how has that actually been for me? The next one we're going to look at real quick from Amplified is SILJ and SLJY. Okay, here's two funds. I said, video, you can go back and look at it. The SLJY writes too much on the underlying and you should hold a little SILJ to actually offset any of those NAV erosion that might happen. But here we are on a total return chart against the S&P 500 since the time the fund came out. And yeah, okay, 27% against 6. I mean, it's not even a competition. This is like, child's play. And you're going to go, oh, I need to get into funds. Like, I don't know. Well, let's get right into it. How have I done since I got into these funds? And I didn't go out and buy them straight up. I averaged myself in. But let's go ahead and show you what I have. So BAR is up only 13.8% for me. SILJ is only up 33% for me. K Silver from Curve is only up 14%. And this is price return. SLJY is only up 10.7%. The NEOS fund, which actually has a lower beta, they do not try to get a beta of 1, is only up 7.82, still better than the S&P 500. And K Gold, for me personally, I'm almost at 14% up, just in my personal holdings. These are my long-term holdings for gold and silver. Don't plan on selling them anytime soon. But I sold my SPY and I got into the debasement trade. So how's that been for me? I sold $97,000 worth of SPY and I bought some K Gold and K Silver. Well, if I look at it today, at today's pricing, the amount of shares that I have, well, I'm up almost $1,500 from when I did this. Yes, that's what I did, and that's what I'm at. If I look at distributions, and it's only been 2 months since I've done this, my distributions are up almost $500 over top of SPY. I just felt at the time that silver and gold were going to go up more than SPY. That's just my personal opinion. So I took my personal opinion and took a bet on a sector. And if you've been following me along for long enough, you know I look at sectors and say what sector may or may not outpace the market. This is very known for Brad to do something like this. I mean, I chose Soxy. Right? I chose the semiconductors. And that one has also beaten SPY. Just thought I'd throw it out that, hey, I take small satellite positions on sectors to try to beat the market. But also, let's face this, I'm an income investor, so I want the income off of these funds. I want to see a generation of income so I can live my retirement. Remember, I live on 8% of cost. So if my cost is going to be something like $100,000, I'm only taking 8. But Brad is paying you 20. I'm only taking 8. The rest of it, 12,000, is going back into different funds so I can outpace inflation and give myself a pay raise next year. That's the difference between what I do with my retirement and what you might be doing with your retirement. As always, this is just Brad out on the internet sharing what he's doing. And none of this is financial advice or any other advice. Also, there is a bunch of Black Friday specials going on. You have Seeking Alpha, you have Snowball, and you have TradingView. All of them have a special going on. Remember, you should join my Circle group because everybody in Circle already knows this information and they're just laughing going, but Brad, you've already shared this with us, more or less. So until next time, God bless and go watch one of those other videos.